and welcome to the American Warrior Radio, 1300 on your AM dial, WMEL, and online at 1300WMEL.com. Sponsored by AVET Project. Can I live again? I don't even know it's real. It was horrifying life on the battlefield. Seen a lot of ups and downs, front lines, bombs going off when we drive by. Can I live again? I don't even know it's real. It was horrifying life on the battlefield. Seen a lot of ups and downs, front lines, bombs going off when we drive by. Yeah, you got questions? Garen and Glenn have answers. Pick up the phone and give them a call. Tell them Soldier I sent you. 321-631-1300.
Welcome to another exciting edition of American Warrior Radio, the place to be for news, notes, interviews, and current events for all issues military and veteran related. If you or someone you know has ever worn the uniform of the U.S. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, or National Guard or Reserves, you've come to the right place. American Warrior Radio, right here on the Talk to Me station, AM 1300 WMEL, sponsored as always by AVET Project. Folks, this program is all about supporting our troops and their families, both past and present, so please get comfortable. Grab a cup of coffee, maybe a pencil or paper to jot down a note or two, because we're always efforting to bring you important information that you can use and pass along to others. With that said, let's roll down the runway and get this show off the ground. As you all know, my name is Garen Cohn. I'm an Air Force veteran, a retired legal advocate for veterans, and founder of AVET Project. But I never fly through the airwaves alone.
Good morning, I'm Glenn McGuffey, manager of your Brevard County Veteran Services team, and I also was in the Air Force. I'm retired from the Air Force, so we got a couple blue suiters coming straight at you today with smart bombs and information that you will definitely need and will help you out understanding veterans benefits and
so much more.
And so much more.
And folks, we thank you so much for joining us today. As always, we like to bring you up-to-date information. Glenn, I guess we've got a Bosun's call coming up.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, there it comes.
And we've got on the line with us right now your commander of your Port Canaveral Coast Guard Station, Commander B. Perry. Can you hear us, B?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning.
How are you doing today?
Oh, man, we've been busy.
So we've heard, Glenn, as you and I both know, Commander, you've been on the news here lately. The Port Canaveral Coast Guard Station has been throughout the Central Florida news. Tell us a little about what's going on. I understand there was a search recently about a boater.
Yes, sir. What we had is on Wednesday morning about 0800, we received a call from sailing vessel Gaia with Patrick Cornelius on board. He was experiencing some chest pains and had radiating pain down his left arm. About 39 miles northeast of Port Canaveral.
Now, Commander, that call came into your station?
Yeah, it was received here as well as in Sector Jacksonville. Sector Jacksonville actually took the call. They have control of the towers here, and we're able to make establish communication with them. When that call came in, about 13 minutes later, we launched our 45-foot response boat out of the port here to respond 39 miles offshore. So we knew it was going to take us a little while to get there.
Well,
We launched also radio communications started to fade out with the boater, and we actually lost communications with the sailing vessel about 8:45. So that right there, when you have somebody calling in with chest pains, and then all of a sudden you lose communications, we're starting to ramp up everything at that point because we're thinking that maybe he is passed out or who knows.
exactly.
And this started all with that radio call, and might want to refresh people on what channel on the Marine radio they are to use to get a hold of the Coast Guard. B.
Any emergency call out for help. 16, channel 16 on your VHF radio. It's monitored 24/7. So and it's all the way up and down the East Coast and around the country. That channel is monitored not only by just the Coast Guard shore units, but also all the vessels at sea should be scanning and listening up to that channel 16.
Important to know.
Well,
That's right, because once that happens, we put out a broadcast notifying any mariners in the area that, hey, there's a boater in distress. Um, so if you're close by, maybe you can go render assistance until the Coast Guard can get there.
and was that the case? Was there anybody nearby his boat?
Not that we know of. No one called out and no one answered up. So therefore, we continued on our way with the 45-footer. Also launched an 860 helicopter out of and our local air station we use. And it doesn't sound local, but it's out of Clearwater. So we launched the 860 helicopter out of Clearwater. We also diverted the cutter Diamondback, which is an 87-foot patrol boat that was operating around St. Mary's, Georgia at the time. So they had a little ways to go. Everybody moved in to respond to this person having a heart attack on the boat. Our vessel arrived out there about 10:30. Arrived on scene, found the sailing vessel about 5 miles north of where the original position was given. And the reason is people don't know, there's a thing out there called the Gulf Stream.
Ah.
So the Gulf Stream off the coast of Florida in our area, it fluctuates, but anywhere outside 20-some miles to maybe 50 miles, you'll see the Gulf Stream. Well, that's the thing. Within a 2-hour time frame, it drifted about 5, almost 6 miles north. So we had a pretty good current running north. We located the vessel, made call-outs to the sailing vessel, which no one answered. So once we were there, we deployed 3 of our crew members to get on board the sailing vessel to find Mr. Cornelius, thinking that he may have been passed out or incapacitated in some way. Once they got on there, he was not there. So,
This is not good. So you scrambled a 47-footer. What was the crew? Like, how many folks do you have on that boat, that fast response boat?
We had five persons on board.
Okay.
We took off with 5 people. All of our people are trained in first aid, so they were all prepared for the medevac. Basically, that's what the call came in. When you have an injured person on there calling for help, giving you the known position, you tell them to put on their life jackets. You go through this process, and we man up for a medevac.
Okay.
Once we arrive on scene and there's nobody to medevac, it immediately shifted to a search and rescue case, because now we got a person that apparently has fallen overboard.
Oh my gosh! And that's when I picked up on it on the news that the contact had been made with you. You scrambled your boat and other resources. You get out there. The boater that called in is not present. Do we know a current status yet?
Yeah, right now the Coast Guard, we searched for over 43 hours of search time.
Wow.
From Monday, or from that Wednesday till Friday, probably about 1,500, searching over 6,000 square miles.
Oh my gosh.
From an effort of about 37 miles east of Canaveral all the way up to 40 nautical miles off of Jacksonville. We used assets such as a Diamondback, a C-130, a C-144, which is one of our newer planes in the Coast Guard, the Ocean Sentry. We used a 65 helicopter, a 860 helicopter from Clearwater, as well as our 45-footer. We had the boat towed into to Daytona by Towboat US. So we got the boat back in so our folks could look at it to find any clues to help us in our search. But the search was actually called off yesterday afternoon. We had Sector Commander from Jacksonville come down, meet with the families, and notify them that until we get further information or anything, the search would be suspended.
But Commander, if he was out there that far, and when you get on site to where his last known position was, the boat's already drifted 5 miles. If he fell overboard, that same current, that same Gulf Stream probably could have taken his body, along with it. Is that what you assume?
Oh yeah, and that's why the search began, and it just keeps expanding with time. We started at the just off of Canaveral area here, and like I said, it searched. We searched all the way up till off of Jacksonville. So almost the whole from Central Florida to North Florida and into the Georgia area, that was the search area. And
Well,
as time goes by, that search area just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's almost like if you spilled a cup of coffee on your desk there, and as time goes by, if you don't do anything with it, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Great analogy.
Yeah, and
It's exactly like that. The search area just grows. But one thing boaters need to remember, especially this fellow was out there by himself. Okay. One thing to remember is we have what's called an electronic position indicating radio beacon that a lot of vessels have, and this sailboater did have that. It just wasn't energized. Anytime you have a case like that, if they would energize their position indicating radio beacon, or there's another thing called a personal locator beacon, which we all carry them all on the Coast Guard. We have them on each one of our vests that we wear when we're underway. If you fall overboard, there is satellite aided tracking that's available 24 hours a day, and we can pinpoint your location, and it makes our job a hell of a lot easier.
yeah, worth a few extra dollars there.
Oh yeah, it's an amazing thing. And just since 1982, there had been over 33,000 people saved by just having.
Wow.
And since '82, technology has gotten to where these locator beacons you can have for just to put on your person. They're the size of a cell phone.
Wow.
I'm convinced to get one when I buy my next boat.
I'm telling you, it's amazing how these things work, and it really helps us out.
And I also wanted to say I'm sure our listeners are as impressed as I am at the extent of the effort put in by our Coast Guard to find this gentleman who was in distress and offshore here, and it happened in our area. Unfortunately, it didn't have a happy ending at this point in time. But I tell you what, listen to all those airplanes they use, and helicopters, and ships, and manpower. It's got to make you feel good about the Coast Guard.
Yeah, for sure. So another awesome effort by you guys and gals. And Commander, I know you haven't located his body yet, but still that doesn't minimize the extent, like Glenn said, of the effort. And we all need to be celebrating the Coast Guard, just knowing that you're out there and the great advice you have. Quick question, that personal locator beacon, are they expensive, and where would a person buy one?
I tell you what, if you want to go to a good website that actually explains the whole process of these things and how they work and how to register them, you can go to SARSAT. It's SARSAT.NOAA.gov. And on there, it's the Search and Rescue Satellite Aided Tracking website, and it will give you all the information you need about how SARSAT works, the successes it's had, and not only on the water. Let's say you're going to go hiking, or you want to go out in the swamp, or you want to go. That thing works everywhere. It's a satellite tracking system. So, if you go out want to go hiking in the Rockies, then this will help locate you if something happens. So on that website, it's a really good spot to do some research. You can get them through West Marine. I want to say, depending on, let's say some of them on the vessels may run you for the vessel EPIRB, maybe a couple $100 up to $500 or so. But if you're a person that's going to sell the Atlantic, which this person was from Delaware, live aboard on the boat, which means they're selling worldwide. $500 is not a big investment.
Gotcha. So they'd go to www.sarsat.noaa.gov. SARSAT.no.
All the information on the EPIRB and the SARSAT system. And as always, I like to pass that. Go to cgox.org for our auxiliary classes, boating safety classes, and they can provide you with all this information too, locally, for any of these classes to help you be prepared when you go out at sea. Because part of our job is as great as it is, doing this. Personal responsibility has a lot to do with it also, making our job successful. So take a little time, prepare yourself before you go out, and hopefully if something does happen to you out there, it'll speed up our recovery and make us a little bit more successful.
And I bet you want to remind people, that especially here's a good example of a single person out there sailing the Atlantic. We don't know if he had a life vest on or not, but when you're boating, you should have a life vest on. I don't care what kind of great swimmer you think you are.
That's right. Hey, you got to wear your life jacket, and they make such great life jackets now. People talk about how bulky they are. Well, they make the ones now that are not that bulky and not cumbersome at all. So when you're out there and God forbid you go overboard and you're by yourself, that life jacket could be the difference.
Well, to recap, and there's something else I want to ask you about, but to recap, cgaux.org to learn about what offerings there are here locally regarding boater safety, and also the www.sarsat.noaa.gov about these locator beacons. Commander, while we got you on the line with this Bosun's call, tell us about this the support the Coast Guard offers to this upcoming rocket launch. Are you guys on schedule to help with that?
Yes, sir. We'll be on scene. We'll be out there before the launch and after the launch, making sure that the range is clear. We provide all that offshore safety zone and security zone protection for the Air Force, and we love doing it. I tell you what, I gotta say, being a little selfish, it's the best seat in the house.
I knew that was coming.
That's awesome being out there and watching that thing go up. So yes, sir, we'll be there.
Well, outstanding. We've been talking with Commander B. Perry, our regular guest with the Port Canaveral Coast Guard Station. Folks, you're not going to get information like this from anybody else or anywhere else. So, again, Commander, thank you so much for sharing today, and we look forward to your next episode with us.
Roger that. Thanks a lot for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to get on here to talk, and hopefully people get a little bit out of it.
Fantastic. Thanks again, sir. We'll talk to you again soon.
Yes, sir. Have a great day.
You bet. Well, Glenn, as usual, great information from our local Coast Guard.
That's right. Makes you proud, and I hope they're not caught up in sequestration, because if people don't know, they're part of the Department of Homeland Security and not the Department of Defense per se. So they may be protected from some of these budget cuts going on.
Yeah, and speaking about that, but turning it around here a little bit, he noted all the air resources that he called in to search for this poor man. And they're coming from different parts of the state rather than here where we have so much activity. So I'm hopeful that we're going to get our priorities right. These are missions that have to be served, okay? Not just for the boater out there, but to protect our ports and everything else. And I'm sorry, I think we need a darn helicopter around here.
I would think so. Even with the 920th Air Rescue Squadron around here, I believe the Coast Guard needs their own helicopter. I mean, this seems like, I was listening to the story, a perfect example of why we need one for our Coast Guard in Cape Canaveral.
Exactly. And, on that note, you mentioned the 920th Rescue Wing. Recently, we lost a couple gentlemen on a lake over in Orange County, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And the 920th was called out, and they brought some of their resources, a helo with the ground-seeking radar or what have you. So hats off to those men and women of the 920th Rescue Wing for helping out in that.
That's right. Our military doesn't just do military things. They are a community resource, and you need to also factor that into your thought processes about the military.
Yeah, for sure. Now, folks, if you're listening and you want, I have to tell you, we went to see a movie last night, The Zero Dark 30. I'm not going to comment on the political aspects of it, but I think the end of the movie certainly serves our country well in trying to give a little flavor of what it's like to be a Navy SEAL, and especially with that important mission about getting Osama bin Laden. With that said, we've got a prize pack giveaway for all you American Warrior Radio listeners, okay? Prize pack giveaway to the first caller. You're going to get a $25 movie pass to AMC Theaters. They're off of 192, and AVET Project and American Warrior Radio is going to buy you dinner at Longhorn Steakhouse too. So get on the phone, 321-631-1300.
631-1300.
Value of $50.
$50 prize package. It's yours for calling in. Get on that phone.
That's right. So prize pack for you. Call in 631-1300 and claim it right now. We got another interesting interview coming up here after the bottom of the hour break, Glenn, but I know there's so much going on in the veterans community. We got a few minutes here. What kind of highlights have you got that you can bring out right now?
Okay, first we talked about Amendment 2. That's that extra discount for property tax for combat service-connected disabled veterans, and I indicated that they should be getting a discount equal to the entire service-connected disability percentage they have, not just that part that might
Right.
be combat-related if the whole thing is not combat-related.
Right.
And I promised to get a hold of the Florida Department of Veterans Affairs. I got a hold of our local people, clarified that it looks like to me right now their interpretation, because of the way the Department of Revenue devised their form, is that they're only going to give you the discount in an amount equal to the percentage of, that's combat related. That may be some or all of your disability rating, your combined disability rating. So I talked to the Florida Department of Veterans Affairs in a very lengthy conversation and discovered that they had been the people behind, when it was Amendment 7, making it where you got the full discount, you got the discount equal to your full combined service-connected ratings.
Right.
And they thought that that was still in existence, and they were going to meet with the Department of Revenue. And the Department of Revenue also, coincidentally, has a meeting coming up with all their property tax people. So this is going to get resolved one way or the other, and I'll bring you the final decision. But keep applying, because you only got a limited amount of time. You got to apply before 1 March to make it effective this year. And we can give you a letter if it's needed to clarify it for the tax people. Some are self-evident, some aren't, and they're sending them to our office when they're not self-evident. We will help you, as always.
Yeah, and that's really important because, again, this is money in your pocket, folks.
In some cases, a bunch of extra money in your pocket.
For sure, and we want to congratulate Thomas, who is the winner of the AVET Project American Warrior Radio prize pack. Thomas, you're going to be going to AMC Theaters. There's $25 to hopefully go see a good flick, maybe even Zero Dark 30, and you can let us know what you think, plus dinner at Longhorn. So, Thomas, thank you so much. And
how are we going to get that to Thomas?
We're going to get it to him. We got his number.
Okay.
We'll handle that off the air. But thank you so much for listening, Thomas, and congratulations. So there's a lot going on in that respect, and that's on a state level. And there's so much also going on the national level with the VA. I understand that our Secretary for Department of Veterans Affairs, Eric Shinseki, has been renominated by the President to stay on as director.
And I think that's a very good thing.
He's done some good work.
He's been one of the most effective secretaries in my 22 years as a service officer for you in Brevard County. So, you know, I certainly was holding my breath not to get some unknown person that has to maybe start from scratch. They're usually a political appointee knows nothing about what they're politically appointed to,
Right.
Especially in the complex world of VA benefits.
Oh, for sure. But Shinseki, to his credit, not only did he serve faithfully in the Army for, I don't know, probably 20, 30 years. I'm sure he's a 4-star general.
4-star general, yeah.
So, yeah, he's got some experience there. And he brought it, and he's helped with the presumptives for Agent Orange. He's helped open the door to presumptive for the burn pit exposed guys and gals.
Exactly.
Folks, stick with us here on American Warrior Radio on AM 1300 WMEL. We'll be back after the break with another exciting interview. So stick with us and enjoy the day. It's a beautiful day. See you in a minute.
All right. That was good. B was ready to talk today.
Yeah, he was.